Sifandos.
Close. Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Welcome. How's everybody feeling? You all look so happy. Cybersecurity. Right hand up, please. Everybody, right hand up. Stand up. Everybody stand up, actually, for me. Please stand up. Thank you. Got to mix things up a little bit. End of the day, everybody's probably a little bit tired. Hands up. Left hand up. Clap. I haven't even done anything yet. Thank you. Sit down. Relax. That's a really bad joke. I'm here today to break things up a little bit. Okay, so we're not going to speak to artificial intelligence or augmented reality or robotics or networks and sensors and cybersecurity, digital age and so forth, although very interesting topics. We're going to speak to mindset, which is applied perspective, which means we look at something, an experience, an event, and we say, is this a desirable state to move into? And if it is, we alter and adjust our mindset to adjust to the experience that we wish to have. We're going to speak to sovereign leadership, we're going to speak to mindfulness, we're going to touch on this a little bit, we're going to speak to purpose, purpose in self, clarity in life, we're going to speak to purpose in vocation. So why is it you do what you do? Understanding ourselves a little bit better. Speaking to purpose is so important. We're going to discover why it's so important shortly. And mindfulness. And it comes together. We bring mindfulness, which is an awareness or an understanding or a familiarity with our mind, which is essentially with ourselves, and bringing that into the present moment. And we'll speak to what that looks like as well. I'm going to provide you with some tools, some tips and tricks today to help you understand yourself better. So, if you gain something, just a snippet of something today, then we're cultivating growth, and growth is good. I'll provide you with some tools around purpose. I'll give you a 7-step process. We'll do that together. Easy, really simple. You'll be surprised at how simple it is. But then you go home and you expand upon it, and you get clarity, you gain vision on who you are and where you wish to go. Let's speak to purpose. Why is it so important understanding who we are? Why is it so important to know our why? Because when we have clarity on our vision for self, on our dreams, on our purpose, on who we wish to be, the actions of present align with that vision. So we're not wasting our time, we're not wasting our experiences, we're not wasting our senses, we're not wasting our time with people or relationships or a job or anything it is that we don't want to be. We get very clear on our purpose, on what drives us, and everything we do now helps us live that life that we wish for ourselves. When we define our purpose, we gain clarity. Having clarity in mind allows us to not be in a confused state of being. It allows us to not experience doubt. And I think we can all agree, in fact, hands up for me, who would prefer to experience clarity as opposed to confusion or doubt? Hands up. Excellent. Understanding our, thank you for raising your hands, understanding our purpose leads us to that space of feeling and experiencing deep clarity. Importantly though, I wanted to link purpose today to vocation. So when I thought about, I'm coming here to this conference on cybersecurity in particular, it's quite a unique industry to be in. It's definitely a growing industry, that's for sure. With the expansion of globalisation, geopolitics starting to heat up, well, I have been for a long time probably. Your role is actually quite valuable in today's society. But here it is. If you don't have a clear connection to what you do, you won't be as effective at what you do. You won't be as valuable to yourself, to your families, to your co-workers, to the entities that you work for, or maybe you own an entity, you own an organisation. and therefore you won't be of great value to your employees if you don't get really clear on who you are and why you do what you do. I want you just to sit with that for a little bit, because it's something that we negate. We get caught up in the cultural clutter of life. I call it a cultural clutter. We're bombarded with media, with TV, we work long hours, we have extensive obligations, and we lose an ability to think about life. We don't ask key questions of self. We don't ask key questions of why am I where I am? Do I want something different? Does this suit me? And we're going to speak to some of the benefits of connecting purpose, of being mindful, and having an applied mindset that's in alignment with our authentic nature. We're going to speak to the benefits and what the outcomes of that are. In our workplace in particular, because I want to link it back to what you do, but also in our lives in general. I'm going to provide you now a 7-step process for identifying purpose. So if you have pads and pens, grab them out. If you have an iPad or a digital device, you may want to take some of these notes down, because it's easy to understand, it's simple, and it can be super effective. Power of 7. Step 1. Who are you? What's your name? Starting really simple. Step 2. What do you love to do most? What profoundly inspires you and sends shivers up your spine? What do you enjoy to do? What do you feel supremely qualified to teach others? Or what would you love to teach other people? Think laterally here. Think openly. Don't just limit it to the space that you're in right now. Be honest with yourself. Get real with who you are. Number 3. Who do you do it for? You can answer this question. Who are the people you do what you do for? Again, don't limit it to the position or the space that you're in now. Think laterally, think creatively, think interconnectedly here. What do those people want or need from what you do for them, from what you give them? Number 4. Number 5. How do they change or transform as a result of what you give them? This is probably the most important point. So if in our culture, when we meet someone, we shake hands generally. We say, what is it that you do? What do you do? What we're implying is, what job do you have? We place so much importance on job. Interesting. But here, this question, how do they change or transform? How do the people that you serve change or transform as a result of what you do for them or what you give them? Imagine answering that question in that way. Let you think about that yourselves for a moment. What is one of the largest global challenges you wish to resolve and work on? Now we're thinking beyond ourselves, because when we say purpose, what is your purpose? Why are you here? Why do you do what you do? Why are you here living existentially, experiencing, engaged in relationships? What does that actually mean? And when we make our purpose part of ourselves, but also bigger than ourselves, we begin to change the way we function as human beings. And this can apply to anybody, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what occupies your time the most, whether it be family, whether it be sports, whether it be your work. Give deep thought to this, and we'll discuss a concept called selfish selflessness later. And I'll tell you how that ties in to everything that you do. And when you give that construct value, you change and transform the way you live as well. And finally, why do you do what you do? And answer this in a multi-layered manner. So, as many answers as you possibly can, begin to understand why you do what you do. Now let's speak to mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is understanding self. It's cultivating a familiarity with mind. When we cultivate a familiarity with our mind, we're effectively understanding ourselves with greater depth and greater capacity. And by doing so, we're understanding life better. We're improving the connection of our relationships. We're improving our efficiencies, our productivities, who we are and how we move through the world. And being present and being here and now, as a great teacher, Ram Dass, once said, is the key to meaning and fulfillment and understanding self. You see, meaning and fulfillment lay the foundations for happiness. And I think we would all agree that everybody in this room wants to be happy, pursues happiness in their endeavours, in their chosen experiences. Being present allows us to recognise meaning and fulfillment. And there's many tools, but there's three here today that I'm going to mention to you to assist you in being present and being mindful. The first is the power of fear. Our society negates fear. Our society neglects fear. Our society doesn't really value being scared. But here it is. If you actively, consciously, with awareness and with intention, deliberate intention, place yourself in a fearful position or experience, and I'm not insinuating jump off a 1,000-metre cliff with no parachute. What I'm saying is challenge yourself. Think laterally. What makes you uncomfortable? What allows you to feel tension in the body? Maybe it's approaching a new client, a big client that your colleagues or your peers are telling you, you're not going to get there. They're too big for you. They're way more advanced than you. But move into that space. Challenge yourself. Every day, do something that scares you, that challenges you. Because when we do that, we acutely become present and very mindful of self. Because neurologically, physiologically, our bodies begin to focus on what's happening right now. It's a sure way to get very present. But it's also a sure way to grow through challenge. And fear, experiencing fear, is challenge. Is challenging. The 3P model. Practice. So this is a model, I'll just give you a very brief background. This is a model that I've developed, very, very simple again, but can be applied to any and every area of life, no matter what you're doing. Name it, it can be applied. Practice. Now, practice, or focusing on practice, gives us progress. It allows us to immerse ourselves in that experience or that activity. We must practice to become familiar, to become wiser. So if you were to apply that in your industry or whatever it is that you're doing, your jobs, your employment, your businesses, the more you practice, the more proficient you become in that area. The next P is patience. Now, patience allows us to focus, allows us to cultivate a mental resilience, because we're going to experience ebbs and flows in life. We're going to experience challenges and difficulties. That's a given. Patience allows us to ride that wave. And persistence provides us with results. We set a goal for ourselves or an objective, and persistence allows us to realise that goal, that objective. And the essence of breath. So breath as a tool is very underrated. Very underrated. Breath connects us and allows us to be mindful of self and get very present. So many of us don't breathe efficiently. I was listening to a TED talk the other day, and it was speaking to breath. And it was speaking to the power of breath, and it equated, we breathe around 22 to 24,000 times daily. And this gentleman that was giving the talk explained that it's like if you breathe inappropriately, you don't breathe properly, it's like eating junk food 23,000 times a day. Imagine that for a moment. That's heavy. And that's the importance of breath. So there are many different breath techniques that I use with my clients, that I use with... I didn't go into much of my background. I'll actually do that now, which is a little bit late, but I'll do that and go into my background now. I've been in the health and wellness industry for 15, 16 years. I've been privileged enough to work with Olympians, gold medalists, elite special forces soldiers, champion fighters, world champion fighters, title belt holders, and everyone in between. Young children, elderly, people that are disabled, amputees, people with cognitive dysfunctions and so forth. Both in the space of mental resilience and psychological performance, mental performance, but also physiological performance. And the key tool that I provide them and that I've discovered works very well, and it's not only myself, it's many other coaches as well, is breath. So a very simple breath technique that I use is called the 4, 7 and 8. We inhale for 4 seconds, we hold our breath for 7 seconds, and we exhale for 8 seconds. Now you do that a few minutes every evening, a few minutes every morning. You'll begin to enhance your physiology. You'll begin to strengthen your nervous system. You'll begin to improve blood circulation, clarity of mind, and so forth. Now, when you begin this, it doesn't matter how you breathe, whether it's through your nose or whether you inhale through your nose or inhale through your mouth, but just get the system right first, the tempo, 4, 7, 8. Really simple to remember. 4 seconds in, 7 second hold, 8 second exhale. And when you're experiencing times of stress, it's another great practice. Take a few minutes to relax, create some stillness for yourself, some silence for yourself. Place yourself in a state of relaxation. If you're experiencing tension at work, at home, in life in general, whatever it may be, practice this breathing. It will help you immensely. So what are the outcomes of simply being aware of mindfulness or practicing mindfulness? And of course, living on purpose, living in purpose, understanding self with great clarity. There are a number of outcomes, and I want to mention a few today. You gain tremendous focus from having clarity on your life's path. In the workplace, outside of the workplace. A model I've developed is the 9 areas of life. In the 9 areas of life, it covers pretty much everything to do with our existence. And when we are on purpose as a foundation for our mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional health, we gain focus in life. And we don't waste our time, we don't waste our actions in the present. Accuracy and execution. We're profoundly accurate in doing what we do, and we do it exceptionally well. We learn the skills to be more efficient in our practices because we're clear on where we want to go. That clarity is contagious. With that clarity, we inspire and empower others. Now, we're biologically hardwired to be of service to others. So in our workplace, in our families, our colleagues, our relatives, our partners, our children, when we are on point and we are on purpose and we understand ourselves and we're clear with who we are, we inspire others. And what that does is inspire them to be the best version of themselves as well. So again, we're moving to that purpose in number 7, when we spoke to identifying the purpose in 7 steps, is can it be beyond you? Can you be of service to others? Because that in turn will help you grow, help you understand life deeper, broader. We become productive. Naturally, we become productive, we become more excited about life, we become more excited about who we are and where we're going. Become productive. Again, it's very empowering and powerful for not only ourselves, but for those around us. We become efficient in our practices. We learn to maximize our time because we realize how valuable and how precious every iota of time is. Every second, every millisecond. We become extremely efficient. We cultivate a respect for ourselves, for our own journey, but also for the path of others as well. And that's very important because with that mutual respect comes an understanding. And with that understanding comes a willingness to grow and learn together. Collaboration, not competitiveness. And this is the concept I wanted to speak to earlier, which really ties purpose and mindfulness and mindset, which is applied perspective around desired states, ties it together. Selflessness is a concept where we wish to evolve our own path, expand our own consciousness, broaden our own mindset and our capacity and experience our potential, live our potential, while simultaneously being of service to others. And when we live from this space, when we come from this space, we are coming from a place that is very inclusive, not exclusive. this is life enhancing. So I'm very grateful to be here today, and I want to speak to you about something that I'm offering, and there's no cost. It's totally complimentary to say thank you to my friend Murad for having me here, and it's part of my mission in life to connect with as many people as possible and to be of service to as many people as possible. So if there's a resonance, then I urge you to take this up. So basically, I want to provide you with 6 months exclusive membership to one of my programs around sovereign leadership. So sovereign leadership model has 14 tenets. In fact, it's a lot more extensive than that. But I want to provide you with 6 months of learning modules around that, plus a bonus module. I also want to provide you with a complimentary mindset audit. In other words, just have a conversation. That's it. It doesn't have to go anywhere. The value of that is as above, 2,100. For you, complimentary. All you need to do, name, phone number, email. That's it. And if you're not interested, that's cool too. I hope you've gained something, that you've learned something, that you've resonated with something, that something has sparked in your mind. If not, that's okay too. Importantly, very happy to be here. Thank you very much. And many blessings on your journey. Take care.
Are there any questions for Steph? Excellent. I see there's lots. Sorry, talk to you afterwards.
Thanks, guys.